Chiller AC system. A chiller is a term used to describe complete chilling package that includes multi-compressor, multi-condenser, but only one evaporator, internal piping and other controls. A chiller is a machine that removes heat from the liquid via vapor compression or vapor absorption cycle. In this AC in this air conditioned system, the chilled water from the chiller is distributed to heat exchanger or cooling coils in the air handling unit, and the hot water is returned back to the chiller. Note: in air cooled chiller, the condensing unit is cooled by atmospheric air by means of condensing fans. In water cooled chiller, the condensing unit is cooled by water and the water gets cooled by means of cooling tower. Base foundation and spring isolators are required for installation. Capacity range 25 TR to 420 TR available in Indian market. 15 TR to 3500 TR Gulf or Western countries. Up to 6000 TR water cooled is available from Yerk chiller. Advantage: in chiller, water is responsible to cool the air and water is cooled by refrigerant. But in other system, directly refrigerant is responsible for cooling the air. In chillers, water is circulated by using pumps and the water density is lesser than refrigerant. Therefore, circulation of water requires less power consumption compared with refrigerant. Almost 80 to 90% saving of the running cost is available. Air cooled chillers. In this chiller, when the high pressure and high temperature refrigerant comes from the compressor is passed inside the coils of a unit enclosed in fins. Due to high temperature of refrigerant gas, the unit becomes hot. When air moves over the unit, it picks up the heat of the unit, thus forcing the gas to become liquid inside the coil. This change of phase from gas to liquid is called condensation and the unit is called condensing unit. As air is the mode of heat transfer or picking the heat of the condensing unit, it is called air cooled condenser and the chiller named as air cooled chiller. Applications: air cooled chillers are mostly used for high rise building, residential or commercial, as the chiller are placed on rooftop of the high rise building because at high altitudes the wind velocities are also high. This can pick up the heat of the condensing units quickly. Then water cooled chillers. In these chillers, the condenser and evaporator look alike and consist of cell, bigger dia pipe or barrel. When water is close to move over the tube using pumps, the water comes out as hot water, which is actual picking the heat of the refrigerant. and when the refrigerant heat is taken out, it becomes liquid. This change of phase from gas to liquid is called condensation. As the heat is carried away by water, therefore it is called water cooled condenser, and chiller named as a water cooled chiller, generally applicable for low rise buildings. Application: this type of chillers are mostly used for building having one or two floors, low rise building like airport, laboratories, hospitals, campus, etc. These chillers are good in efficiency even if outside temperature exceeds 120 degree centigrade. Comparison between air-cooled versus water-cooled chillers. Initial cost of air-cooled chiller is lower than water-cooled chillers, as air-cooled systems do not require cooling tower, condenser water pumps, and associated HVAC components. While comparing air and water-cooled chillers, an overall system cost, both running and installed, has to be worked out. Size of HVAC unit matters when selecting water-cooled chiller or air-cooled chiller. Smaller HVAC units are usually air-cooled, larger are water-cooled. HVAC engineers have to evaluate air-cooled and water-cooled chillers, keeping in mind various factors. Refrigeration engineer has to consider the ambient conditions, wet bulb, dry bulb, number of hours of operation, part load pattern, and cost of maintenance. Space is also of importance in some application. Air-cooled chillers can utilize open space such as roof or ground level area, although smaller in size, but water-cooled chillers require a mechanical room and cooling tower. Air recirculation is very important for air-cooled chillers. Any obstruction in the circulation of air would adversely affect the performance of the air-cooled chillers. Air-cooled chillers can have problems with recirculation if there are walls higher than unit or too many units close together. If there is a situation where outside walls are required for building and the unit will not be receiving enough fresh air, then water-cooled application may be best option. This completes water-cooled and air-cooled chillers and comparison between them.